CHAYOTE, and today we have a very long squash. It seems like it keeps going. So you might call this a CUCUZZA squash. Some people call it zucchini. In New Orleans, they pronounce it CUCUZZA, and it's grown in the summertime. And a lot of people grow the vines over their fences. So it's similar to zucchini on the inside, except the peel is very tough. So you have to peel it, unlike a zucchini. And it has quite a bit of seeds. So I am going to cut off a piece. And I might try making some different things with it. So I don't think my knife is sharp enough, and I think I need two hands. So let's see if I can prop you here. Let's see how I can do this. I don't have my, oh, I'm flipping you. Okay, so I'm just gonna whack off a chunk so you can see how it has some big seeds in there. So the first thing you want to do is peel it, and this is a pretty good peeler. It has a julienne side and a just a flat side. So I'm going to cut off the other end and try to peel it. So you have to give it some pressure. But this kind of peeler I find is the best, these wide peelers. And I'll see if I can find one to put a link to. It might not be the exact same one, but I'll try to put a link to it. Sometimes if you get a spiralizer, they'll include one with your order. I actually have more than one of these, and one or two of them, I don't know, came with a spiralizer, and one came with this little mandolin thing that I got. Okay, so just put my garbage bowl over here. Now I'm gonna slice it. Let me see if this makes it any better for you. Okay, so that's what it looks like on the inside. So you can either cut it down the center and then just cut the seeds off diagonally. It's got some pretty big seeds, so you don't want to eat those. But I am going to maybe use a melon baller and scoop those out. So I will be back. Okay, so you can use a spoon or whatever. I couldn't find my melon baller, so I used this tool. It's actually for zesting lemons, but I just really got anything you can get in there that's firm enough just to dig those out. So I'm going to dice these. Now you can pretty much use them any way that you would use zucchini. Or even similar to a MIRLITON. So if you are a CHAYOTE squash, kind of like that too. Okay, so here's what I'm going to do with it. I am making one of my vegetable sauces. Gonna be a spaghetti sauce that I put a lot of veggies in. And I usually use just whatever veggies I have. So right now I have onions, carrots, and yellow bell pepper. So I'm gonna put these in there, saute it a little bit, then add my tomato sauce. I'm just gonna do handfuls, but it's good to put it in something like this because they do release a lot of liquid. And I will put a link to my veggie spaghetti sauce. You can use any kind of veggies you want in here. I also have some spinach that's starting to wilt in the fridge, so I'm going to add that too. And then we'll move on to another way to use this CUCUZZA squash. Okay, so now I'm going to try to spiralize some, but I'm not really spiralizing. I'm just using this kind of peeler, because I think if you put this on a regular spiralizer, you're going to get a lot of the seeds coming out. So I'm just going to try this. I've never tried it before. And yeah, you have to kind of peel them apart, but it does work. So I'm kind of gonna just do one side of it first and see how far down I can go until I hit seeds. But if you have one of these great big squash, then you can get quite a bit of spiralized noodles. Okay, that's as far as you can go. So I'll get rid of that. So just do that on all sides, and then we're going to try to cook them to go with the sauce. Okay, so my vegetables have gone down. I put in 2 cans of tomato paste and let that brown a little bit. And then I have 2 big cans of crushed tomatoes. If you want to make a little more, add 3 cans of crushed tomatoes. And then to this, I'm going to add some oregano, basil, and thyme, and parsley from my garden, because that's what I have. If you add what you like, if you only like basil in your sauce, or you only like oregano, then you add what you like, because it's your sauce. I'm going to add about a teaspoon of salt, and I'm going to add about maybe a teaspoon. I'll probably start with a teaspoon of red pepper flakes to give it some flavor. And I'm going to fill one of these with some wine probably, or some water, to get the rest of those tomatoes out of the cans. And then once I put the water in, I'm going to puree it with a hand blender, but you can use a regular blender. Just use one that's safe for hot food, like one of those Nutri-Blenders or something. And you know, vent it while you're you might want to take the top middle part of the blender out and vent it while you're pureeing it. Put it back in the pan and just let it simmer. And that's one way to use your CUCUZZA squash. I'm gonna cook some spiralized CUCUZZA. I cut about 2 feet off of that thing, and there's still a lot left. Here's what's left once I reach the seeds. So there's a lot of waste, but it's so big. So I have some olive oil heating on the stove, and I'm just going to drop this in. It has a lot of liquid in it, so it's going to really kind the flame up quickly. I'm going to give it a little shake of salt. I'm going to give it, this is some garlic powder. And you could put a little parsley. I do have a seasoned sauce I'm going to use for this. So I'm not going to put too much other ingredients on here. And you can see it's cooking up very similar to the way zucchini cooks up, spiralized zucchini. And it shouldn't take too long. You can kind of feel when the texture changes. It's almost done right now. Yeah, I can feel it really softening. So I don't want to cook it much longer than that. So I am going to turn it off. And I am going to ladle some, put some in a bowl. There we go. And I'm going to, my sauce is not finished, but I'm going to take some of it anyway and put some on here to taste it. And in the sauce, I also put some CUCUZZA. Now you can top this with Parmesan, Parmigiano Reggiano, whatever you like. It will be delicious. So I'll come back over here and give it a little taste. And it's very hot. I don't do well with hot things. Wow, that is awesome spiralized. So you need to try this. This is CajunDIYDiva. Please click that subscribe button for more recipes.